This is the brand new YouTube studio I've built in our small Cornwall office. If you're a content creator or a small business owner and you're thinking, I really want to do content, but I don't have a space big enough to build a little YouTube studio, well, this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how I put this space together, everything that I used, and a bit of behind the scene footage as well. A lot of people think you need a massive space to create a content studio, and you know what? You really don't. This is just a small corner of my office. All you need really, I think, is some good lighting and an aesthetically pleasing set. So I'll show you exactly how I did it. So like many of you, I had a small space, maybe a home space or a small office, a small budget, but I really wanted to create some good, aesthetically pleasing video shots that just, look professional when you're putting out your content on YouTube. So we still have our studio space in Manchester, but because I'm down here in Cornwall, I want to create a space where I can create content quickly and then send it over to Lewis to edit for the channel. So when creating the space, there's a few things I really wanted to tick. Number one, it had to be aesthetically pleasing. It has to look nice on camera. Secondly, it has to be a nice workspace for me to work in. I am working on this desk. It's not just a little set that I'm going to kind of leave behind. I am working on this desk. So ergonomically, I want it to be nice and comfortable and get me in the right headspace. And then thirdly, I wanted to create a YouTube space that made it as easy as possible for me to create content. You see, here in Cornwall, I'm filming on my own. I don't have a second camera person. Lewis, who creates a lot of the videos on the channel, is up in Manchester. So I want to create a space where when I think about doing a video or when I've got a script ready, I can just move everything in position very fast and I can create that content, get it to Lewis, and it should just really speed up the productivity for me, for Lewis, for the entire channel. So I've broken this down into just a few sections really. Aesthetics, ergonomics, I wanted a standing desk as well, and the ability to be fast. So I'm going to show you the entire build. Let's jump into it, starting off with these slat walls. So when I created this space, I wanted it to look professional, aesthetically pleasing, as mentioned, ergonomically good for me to work in a productive space. And I wanted the elements within the space to kind of reflect a little bit of what we do. Now, I've kind of lost the neon look that a lot of people go for in the video space, and I want a much more of a natural wood-looking textures and things like that. So let's start off with some of the objects we put up. And the first one, the main one, is the slat wall. You can see right here. Now, these are from a company called Nature Wall. I got them from there just based on reviews, to be honest. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with the company at all. It's just you can see these around a lot. There's a lot of these on Amazon. Some of them are very cheap, not very well built. And I don't want something like this coming off the wall, hitting my studio display there. So these are good, again, because they look good, but also they have acoustic foam behind here. So let's look at the build of this. It took me a while to put these up. Actually, not too bad, but let's take a look. So I put these onto the wall, straight into the wall with a few screws. Basically put kind of 4 screws at the top, 4 in the middle, and then 4 at the bottom. And they seem to be holding pretty well. 4 panels, I think I probably should have got a 5th panel just so I can kind of move this along a bit, but I think it's okay. They cost around £80 a panel in the UK, so it's one of the bigger expenses of the build, but I just thought it makes such a big statement. I really like it. So next up, what you can see rising behind me is this standing desk. Now, I'm 42, so I'm struggling a bit with bad back issues. So I wanted a desk, again, that looked aesthetically pleasing. Looking at the kind of walnut slat walls that I went for, I thought this kind of lighter wood color, almost a pine color, would go quite well with that. And it goes nice aesthetically, I think, with some of the green lights and, green plants and gold textures that we have there. And the standing desk is actually a very cheap standing desk. Some of these can cost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. This was literally £80 from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. But it just allows me to be sitting down for parts of the day, and then I can just stand up and work. As I say, I'm getting a bit of a sore lower back, so I'm trying as much as I can to actually stand and do work. So it's pretty good. It means I can, just literally stand up and use this. A lot of you may have seen standing desks before, but I know some people haven't. A few people in the offices here have asked me about them. So I think that's pretty good. I'm hoping it helps my back. And Again, I think it's pretty good. This one even has a memory function, so you can get it to your ideal sitting position, save that in memory 1 or 2, get it to the standing position and save that, so you don't have to kind of wind something up and down or get it exact every time and it's always slightly off. You can press 1 or 2 and you've got some memory functions there. Okay, next up we've got this gaming chair. Now, this was actually sent in a while back to Editor's Keys, about a year ago when I first moved to Cornwall, and I was going to put it up in the house, and we're doing house renovation, so I just didn't want to ruin the chair, and I've just saved it until now. So sorry to Symino who sent this across. It's taken a while for me to build this, but what a chair. It's like kind of like a gaming chair, but it's again, great for the lower back. It's that green color, which I think looks really nice with the plants. It's a little bit big for the video, so what I found actually, I'm working in this all day long, but actually when I film the videos, because the back's quite high, it covers a lot of the set, so I'm actually switching to an old red office chair just when I film these videos. But a very, very comfy chair that you can lean right back, you can pull out the legs and have a little rest if you want to. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check them out, but a very, very comfy chair. Okay, now in terms of the shelving unit here, I purchased this from Amazon. Again, this is pretty cheap, about £50, which I don't think is too bad. But I wanted something that looked kind of modern, slightly elegant looking, and I didn't want to fill it with loads of YouTuber-y type stuff that you often see. No offense to any YouTuber out there, obviously, but I just want it to look much more like something you would probably find in a hotel or your living room, that kind of thing. So all of the plants around here, first of all, are real, apart from these two, which are fake. And the only reason I chose these two as fake ones is because I just want to keep them the same length. You know, so when you're doing video content, sometimes we might film a month apart for one video, and I want everything to kind of look as consistent as possible. But on the top here, we've got these little touch lights. You can see that you can tap on and off with your finger. Now these were actually a buy from Temu, believe it or not. Temu, I bought a few things off there. I would actually recommend to avoid it, but these were actually probably the best thing that I purchased. About £5 each. I got 2 of these. I just thought they had some nice ambient light. They kind of spill the light out, a bit like if you're at a nice restaurant. I think they look good. Then we move down. I've just got a couple of plants here. I've got a few books here. Now these books really represent a couple of things there. The things that I'm into. So we've got photography, we've got a business book here, we've got a psychology book, Facebook marketing, the essential 1000 films to see, all about the filmmaking, and a design book here. Now what I've done, these aren't just for aesthetics, I've kind of created a little library. These are books that I kind of want to read, so I'm going to be taking one out of my own library, if you like, and read these and then replace them with another book. Apart from that one, I kind of like the design of this design book here, so I might keep that. But they're essentially books that, as a business owner, as a content creator, I need to be brushing up constantly on Facebook marketing, on design, on the psychology of writing marketing material and stuff like that. So I'm going to be reading one of these every month and then changing this up. Let me know if you do want to see a book list, but that's what's there. And then on the shelf down here, we've just got a room freshener, some candles, and again, just aesthetically pleasing things. They're just things that I think look nice. They serve a slight purpose. They make the studio smell nicer, but they just look nice. And at the bottom here, let's get the camera down a bit here. You can see we've got another one of those lights, and then we've got a candle. On the bottom shelf, you'll never really see that on video, so I've just got a Ulanzi cob light down there and a sunlight light that I was going to use. Let's just bring this down, and never did use it for the set, so that's just staying down there at the moment. Now in terms of the plants, I always try and research plants that actually are going to produce a lot of oxygen. So if you're in an office space, this is quite enclosed, the window doesn't actually open. I do have air conditioning, but I want it to be as fresh as possible. So I've got kind of like rubber plants, I've got a mother's tongue, I've got some palms. I think they look nice, and I think they go aesthetically, again, I keep saying that word, but they look nice with the set, but they should also clean the air. Plants are great, indoor plants especially, at cleaning the air. So if you've got things like printers and office equipment that, in the background will be giving off a little bit of sort of toxic chemicals, these are really good for cleaning the air, cleaning the oxygen, making the room smell nice. So as many of the plants as possible are real in the set. Again, on this side of the desk, we've got a little palm here. Now I like the way that this spills over the top of the desk when the desk is down. it kind of spills over, and so you get a little bit of that green in the background over the MacBook Air. I just think, again, it looks nice. It goes really with that kind of like natural looking theme that I'm going for with this set. Okay, next up, let's talk about the artwork. Now, there isn't actually a lot of artwork up in this set. I know some people have a lot of artwork, which looks great. I've just literally gone for this one piece of artwork that I bought off Etsy for £5. It's a digital creator. You buy the digital piece of artwork and then you get it printed yourself. I went to printed.com, costs about £30 to get it printed. I bought a cheap frame off Amazon, and I thought it looks nice. It's just kind of symmetrical to the screen below it. I took the glass out so I don't get any reflection. Of course, if you have glass on a piece of art, that's going to reflect. So just a little tip there, take the glass out if you can. I blue tacked that to the backboard, and I just think it looks nice. It's dark, it's not kind of like too showy. It says stay focused. It's going to keep me productive. Whenever I'm scrolling on the socials too much, I know I can just stay focused, and I like that. And as I say, it's just simple. It just separates the set a little bit. I had nothing there before, and I thought it looked a bit plain. And I just like the style, if I'm honest, of that piece of artwork. So let me know what you think. Do you like that? The other option was actually to go for something a little bit more colourful. Let me go grab that. First option, actually, it says creative mode with an on switch. I kind of like this, but the problem with this is that it has, because of its orientation, it has to go, obviously, portrait, and it makes it too high. You know, if you have it too low, it's kind of below the monitor too high, and you can't see it in shot. And because, again, this is a set, you want something that's generally in shot for most of your shots or some of your shots. This was just a little bit too high. I actually think I prefer this piece of artwork. I like the color that it adds, but as it's a YouTube set, I went with that one. What do you think? A or B? Okay, now for the desk setup. Now, this is, of course, one of the most important aspects of any productivity. And the thing we have right here is the Editor's Keys Final Cut Pro backlit, wireless backlit keyboard. So this gives you all of the shortcuts for Final Cut Pro. It's a backlit keyboard, as you can see there. The light's on actually, so you probably won't see it. But it's a backlit keyboard with 3 levels of backlighting. So you can edit into the night. It gives you all of the shortcuts for Final Cut Pro that makes you 40 to 50% more productive. And it looks great, let's be honest. Rather than just a plain black keyboard or a white keyboard, if you're a content creator, it looks great. It's gonna make you more productive. I'll put a link in the description below, and obviously we are Editor's Keys, so this is an affiliate because we are Editor's Keys, but check it out because I'm sure you will love it. I'm just using the Apple Magic Mouse. Recently gone to the M4 MacBook Air, believe it or not, and I'm doing all my video editing on the MacBook Air. It's working out really, really well. If you want to see a video review on the channel of me switching from the M1 MacBook Pro to the M4 MacBook Air, that's on the channel. I'll put a link in or around the video. And then I've still got my Apple Studio display, which I've had for some years now. It's actually been really, really good. It's, you know, it's not as bezel-less as I would like. I think some of the more modern Dell displays look much better, but in terms of image quality, size, it's got a webcam built into it, and the speakers are very, very good. So as an all-in-one kind of machine that works seamlessly with your Mac or PC, generally Mac, of course, better, this is really, really well. And then with the Editor's Keys Final Cut keyboard and mouse, I can just be wireless. I've got this one display here. When I'm done, I can unplug and then go home. I don't need to bring a charger for the MacBook Air. This charges it. And yeah, this is my setup. So this is what I'm actually working with day to day. I bought this little felt mouse pad and this felt coffee cup pad from Amazon. I'm still not sure what I think of these yet. Part of me kind of likes the natural, if I just take this off, the natural wood look on its own. It's very clean like that. And I can't make my mind up if I'm gonna keep this or not. This was about £15 from Amazon. I'm gonna keep it on, I only got it yesterday. So I'm gonna keep this on for the moment. What do you think? That is my desk setup in the studio. Okay, now for the thing I like most about this setup. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted a setup which makes it extremely easy for me to create content. As someone who's on their own, I don't have Lewis with me here in Cornwall, unfortunately. I've got to film all on my own. And now when you go to film, actually the setup process is sometimes the process which makes me think, oh, I'll do it later, because you have to set up the camera, you have to set up the tripod, you have to set up the light, you have to move them around. If you're on your own, you have to keep filming shots, just watch them back and see if they're okay. What I've got here, and I got this idea off a few content creators on YouTube. So let me show you using the Pocket 3. This is my YouTube setup on wheels. This is the mic I'm using here. The Sennheiser MKE400. We've got the Sony ZV-E1 right there. And then we have an aperture light there. I'm just gonna stand up, just show you this. So you can see this whole setup right here. That's what it looks like. That's what I see when I'm talking to you guys on camera. So essentially, I don't have the cameraman here, but I can film myself. This is all on wheels. I can move this around, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I can just sit down, hit record, turn the light on, and I know that the light is pretty much in the perfect condition. So this is really good for those days when I just want to get recording. I can just pull this towards me. It's all set up in the right height and right levels, and I can press record. That makes it really good to go. On other days when I know I need to sort of change up the camera angle a little bit or the lighting angle, I can just change these grip panels and move it around. And because I'm generally only filming myself, the lighting is always going to be about right. Of course, you're going to want to make some sort of light adjustments, but this generally is working really, really well. Now, if you want to see this setup, how much it costs, what things I bought for it, I'll be doing that video next. I didn't want to put it in this video, so I'm going to do this as a separate video. So if you want a one stand solution for your lighting, your camera, your audio, teleprompter, that kind of thing, subscribe to the channel because I'll be doing that video next. Okay, so I've gone a bit wider on this shot just to talk about the lighting. Now, I think lighting is very, very important. Actually, let me turn the lights off and show you how this looks with just that light. Okay, so you can see now with all the lighting off, apart from the big fill lights, it would be pitch black without that. You can see it doesn't look that interesting, does it? It looks a little dull, a little boring. Probably okay, like most people would be happy with this, and this is what a lot of people do, especially when they're new to content creation, is they get a light, they just film in a room and away they go, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you just want to improve the look of your YouTube studio, some practical lights, and practical lights basically mean just lights that are in the background, lights that light something up. I think it makes a big difference. Now, what I'm going to do is show you what I had to begin with and the changes I made. So first of all, I had these ones from Temu, and I thought, they'll do okay, they'll be enough. But actually when I started watching the footage back, I thought, you know, this part of the cupboard there looks a bit blank, this bit looks a bit blank, it looks a bit dull. So I purchased some light strip panels from Amazon to put on the back of the monitor, so it slightly lifts and changes the color of the slat wall. A little light down here because you can see this looks very dark as well. So let's leave this running and I'll just put these on. Okay. They're on. Let's put the one on the back here on. This one is actually a multicolored light, but we're just gonna, there we go. And let's sit back down again. And I think that makes a huge difference. I'm gonna try and hide this light down here a bit, but you can see that that just uplifts the palm. It's gonna add a light there. I think these strip panels, which were about £3-4 each, I think it was £15 maybe for a pack of 4. I'll find out the price, put a link in the description. But I think subtle things like that don't cost you a lot of money. We're literally talking £5 to £10, maybe like $15, to add these small little lights to your background, and I think they actually make a huge, huge difference. Just to the back of the set there, look at the monitor. The monitor is putting light this way, but it's not putting any light to the back. So just blue tacking one of those to the back of the monitor. Sounds shifty, I know, but it looks pretty good, doesn't it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And I think that's one of the main things. Even if you're filming with an iPhone, you can improve the footage coming from an iPhone or a Pocket 3 by adding some nice lighting. Now, I'm going to be doing a full video on how you can use your iPhone and how you can use a DJI Pocket 3 as your main studio camera. And just little tips and tricks you can do like that don't cost you a bomb. So if you want to see that video, make sure to subscribe as well, because that video will be coming soon. So today's video was a little bit different, and that's a look at the brand new studio build, which is still a work in progress here at our Editor's Keys Cornwall office. Now, if you've got any questions at all, please leave them below, because we do get back to every single question or comment that's asked. And I know some people think they're asking something which is a bit silly or seems basic, but ask that question, because I promise you there will be other people out there that want to ask just like about the keyboard or about the palm tree, or what's the distance you should be away from the camera? Little things that you may be thinking, put them below, because I promise we do get back to every single question asked. Remember, keep subscribed to the channel if you want to see the video all about the light stand and the equipment I'm using, as that video will probably be the video coming out next, and it might already be on the channel if this video has been out for a while. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.